ourselves some good old classic PVL volleyball. Well, today we have another packed doubleheader to kick off a brand new month. Love is in the air here in the PVL. Back to the heart of volleyball.
The first day of February, and love isn't the only thing in the air, so is the electrifying energy of the Premier Volleyball League. Today we're in for a power-packed showdown as the Capital1 Solar Spikers bring the heat against the Akari Chargers, who are ready to light up the court. But wait, there's more. That's just the beginning, because after this electrifying showdown, we have a rematch of last year's Invitational Conference Finals. It's going to be the Single HD Spikers against the Creamline Pool Smashers. Now, we've got 4 teams this Saturday looking to set the tone early this February. Will we see dominant performances, hard-fought comebacks, or down-to-the-wire thrillers? Well, one thing's for sure, really, it's top-tier volleyball from start to finish. And we ask you to stay tuned, because we've got a thrilling game coming right up. I'm Denise inside with my partner, Jamie La Victoria and Kyla Kingstu, accompanying you for today's game. Hey, Jay. Hey, Kai.
Hey, Denise. I love that we all have our curly hair today.
We are ready. We all got like electric shock. You know, that is the common theme of today's game. But for those who aren't watching us live here in Philsports Arena, where else could our viewers watch us, Jay?
Well, of course, thank you guys for joining us on the Filipinas Live app, One Sports and One Sports Plus.
And it is finally February. Yep. It's been a long elimination round, and it's coming to an end. So really, a lot of the teams are feeling the pressure.
That's right. But first, Denise, we have to talk about the team standings. And we have Akari and Capital1 at the bottom of the standings. Akari, a bit of an inconsistent performance. They did lose to PLDT, but they did win against their sister team in the next set, Chameleons. As for the Capital1 Solar Spikers, they are in a 3-game losing streak, and they are unable to find their rhythm. But eventually, they do have a chance and opportunity to win and rack up some wins today.
The thing is, both teams, it's been a tough road. Yes. It's been a tough journey, and they're both looking to bounce back. It's all about redemption. But the question really is, who will get it first? Let's break down Capital1 Solar Spikers. You know, consistent is always the name of the game, and they've struggled in this sense. But one person, one player, never declines. On your screens, Roma Doromal. It's not only her face card that never declined.
You said it, Denise.
But also her defensive capabilities.
Well, with Roma, she's one of the positive lights for Capital1. She is steady at ease, but most importantly, has done her job in the digging department. Currently ranked 5th in the league. But let's see if Roma and company can build that chemistry, can build that consistency entering this game today.
And there were a lot of highlights, sadly, from Capital1's loss to Zeus Coffee. But another player really stood out and did have a productive day as the team's lone double-digit scorer. Rising up to the challenge, we have Jorel Singh.
Well, she tallied 10 points against Zeus Coffee, and the veteran spiker was the only spiker to score in double digits. Whether she's starting off the bench or starting, she always makes sure that she is ready. Now, a consistent performance is needed coming from Singh as Capital1 tries to end that 3-game losing streak.
And Kai, how are the teams feeling? You know, bouncing back from a loss, it's always mixed feelings. You have that excitement, but there's also way more pressure than there ever was. So how are the girls?
That's right, Denise and Jamie. You know what? Capital1 is a bit of, you know, in this slump. Like you said, they have Roma to anchor their defense. They have Jorel to lead the charge. But another key figure who I believe is the beating heart of the Solar Spikers is their setter in Iris Talenada. You know, I always have such a great time catching up with her. She has such an infectious energy. And, you know, she shared with me that the past week has really been a test of their faith. But the silver lining here is that she really sees the hard work of each and every one of their members, and this inspires them to keep pushing and get out of this slump. And they'll have to do that today as they go up against a team like Akari, who had such a great game against their sister team last week, guys.
But with Akari Chargers, it's always, it's like a roller coaster ride. There are ups, there are downs. A lot of the players really are feeling the pressure since it is the last stretch of the elimination round. Everyone's trying to prove that they've got what it takes to make it to the next round. And let's talk about the players this time of Akari Chargers, who are feeling the love, feeling all the chemistry, and this is a time to really turn it up. On your screens, Ivy Laxina, who is always shy when I talk to her, but when she is on the court, game on, the switch has been turned on.
Now, she had a more solid performance against the next-led Chameleon. She scored 14 out of her 17 points in their last outing, and she has been one of the key players for Akari. But it cannot just be Ivy. She cannot be doing all the heavy lifting. Help is needed in the scoring department, but let's see how the strategy of Ivy will change today. Will she go for that soft tip or for that roll shot or go for her classic down the line? Let's see if she will change her strategy today.
Kyla did share that for the Capital One, Iris Tolenada, is infectious with her energy. She always has a bubbly smile of hers. But for the Akari Chargers, it's calm, and if Iris has her bubbly charm, Kamui has really her stoic defense that is so vital for the Akari Chargers.
That's right. You have Cal here with no Michelle Cobb in the mix. Cal is needed to step up. Composure all throughout is needed in her game today, and proper decision-making is crucial against the Capital Solar Spikers. Now, this is Cal's chance to lead her team to victory in today's match.
And how are our setters doing from Akari Chargers? I know it's been tough, but Cam really has stepped up to the challenge.
Yes, I actually got to visit them in the dugout earlier. Well, Michelle Cobb is present, but she'll be a cheerleader for today. Well, first, let me talk about Kamui Kal. And she told me that there's no denying how anxious she is feeling today as the team's lone setter. But for her, it's all about owning up to that role. And she had a whole week to prepare for this specific game. And I asked her to take me back to their previous matchup, what she felt, watching that first set and having to go in the second set. And she shared that, on top of her mind, she had to keep staying composed and keep the team together. They couldn't be shaken by seeing Michelle Cobb taken off the court. They had to keep things together, and they were able to pull off, a win in 4 sets. And Akari will for sure have to go on full force today as they go up against Capital One that's eager to improve their rankings. Well, guys, it's Feb. It's not yet Valentine's Day, but we are very excited because we have a lot of lovely and lively fans on the Pilipinas Live app. Kaya naman, there's a live poll right below the stream where you guys can answer our question of the game. And today, we are asking the question, which setter will set the tone? Is it Iris Solenada or is it Kamui Kal? Again, you can answer that right below the stream, or you can also join in the conversation online using the hashtag PVL2025. Now, Denise and Jamie, I won't ask you guys your answer to the question.
Thank you so much.
I'll save you guys from that. But I want to ask you guys, what kind of game are we looking at today?
Well, both teams, they're off to a not strong start this 2025, but as long as they have that growth mindset, they take chances and they take risks, they will prevail in today's game.
Well, it's just like love. You have to take the risk. You have to put yourself out there. Again, it is February, love month. But will Capital One shine bright and outlast the Akari Chargers, or will the Akari Chargers spark a surge and electrify Capital One? Well, this is really a match that will shock and sizzle you, and that action will start after the break.
Actually, at first, feeling ko mataray ka. And totoo nga.
Naiyak ako kasi
Story ko to eh. Huwag kang iyak. Hi, I'm Rama May Daramal.
Hi, I'm Layla Cruz.
And this is Heart to Heart. How grateful are you that we became teammates?
Kung wala si Roma and Jenya, magiging hard yung experience natin. Pero dahil kasama ko kayo, meron akong kadamay sa lahat ng mga na-experience ko.
Parang nakahanap ako ng bagong besties. Super hindi ko inakala na maging teammate kita. Kasi diba, combine, never tayo naging groupmates. So sabi ko, parang paano kaya si Layla inside the court kasama? Kasi always tayo magkalaban.
Naririnig ko na rin kaila Maika and Thea na close kayo. Mukha ka namang nice nun.
Mukha lang.
Same lang din tayo ng level of personality.
Yes, true.
Okay.
I like the humor.
Thank you.
Humoring.
Thank you. And what was your biggest learning from our first conference?
I-enjoy talaga yung moment. Like, I expected talaga sa pro, very, focus. Like, alam mo yun, adulting na, ganun. Pero pagpasok ko, feeling ko high school ako, feeling ko college ako sa sobrang gel ng team and ang light lang. What do you want to prove in this All-Filipino conference?
Kaya pa din natin makapagsabayan. Wala na si Marina. Ito talaga yung challenge for us.
In the brighter side, excited ako to see bawat isa sa atin magsa-step up to help talaga each other. It's time na rin talaga to be here and be with you in this heart-to-heart talk.
That's a wrap!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's game day weekend here at the Premier Volleyball League 2025 Open Conference, the heart of volleyball. Live at the Field Sports Arena is the preliminary round match number 47 between Capital1 Solar Spikers and the Akari Chargers.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Introducing our officials of this match. First referee, Mr. Fernando Velarde. Second referee, Mr. Joffer Educado. Let us meet the starters. First for Capital1 Solar Spikers. Let's call on their team captain at number 8, Jarrell Singh. Wearing jersey number 2, Sid Niegos. At number 5, Des Clemente de Guzman. Jersey number 6, Trisha Genesis. At number 10, Iris Tolenada. Number 22, Layla Cruz. Their starting libero, number 19, Roma Dorma. With their head coach, Mr. Roger Farias. Now let's welcome the Akari Chargers. Let's start with their team captain, number 16, Ivy Laxina. Wearing jersey number 2, Fifi Sharma. At number 7, Camille Cao. Jersey number 10, Camille Victoria. At 17, Faith Nisperos. Jersey number 24, Ellie Soyud. With her starting libero number 15, Justin Hazareno. Head coach is Mr. Takayuki Minowa. This match is under the regulations and supervision of the game and of youth. This is the PVL Open Conference.
And there you have it, your starters for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. We've talked about Jarrell Singh, Iris Tolenara during our pregame, and Roma Doromal. We'll see how they'll try to step things up in today's match against the Akari Chargers, who are coming off a win against the Nexted Chameleons. You've got Ivy Laksina, Cam Cal, Ellie Soyud, Camille Victoria. Familiar names for all of our volleyball fans. Again, we welcome you to our first match this Saturday. We've got a doubleheader. It's the Capital1 Solar Spikers versus the Akari Chargers, the game that you're watching now, to be followed by the Signal HD Spikers against the Creamline Cool Smashers later on.
First serve of the match goes to Ari.
Cam serves first. Soyud. Cam sets it. Sharma. That was a quick start for the Akari Chargers.
That's right. Cam already going for Fifi Sharma on that A quick attack. The set was a little bit too low, but she was able to make a way targeting zone 5.
And we can see Akari really charging up early on.
Yep.
But you don't want to jinx things.
Yeah, let's not speak too soon.
Let's not speak too soon. But
so far, so good.
So far, so good. Talking to the coaches, consistency has been a struggle.
Yes.
For the Akari Chargers, up and down like a roller coaster.
Yep.
What's contributing? It's no longer jitters. It's no longer chemistry. We've talked about their sisterly love. What's the #1 hurdle for the girls right now?
Well, aside from consistency, they really need to stick to that system of Coach Taka. The basic skills of volleyball, of dig, set, spike. No need to do any fancy plays. Cam has to step up big time, of course, with no Michelle Cobb in the mix. Ellie Soyud really embracing that starting role, usually coming off the bench. But let's see how things will unfold today.
And let's check in with Kyla Kingsu for her reports on her squads. Hey, Kyla, what's up?
Denise and Jamie, boy, did January feel like a whole year in itself, but finally we made it to the month of Feb. And while love is in the air for some, for our favorite volleyballs, it's still all about volleyball. Well, at least for now, and for Ivy Laksina specifically, February means fresh starts. After an up-and-down opening, she's locked in on making this month count. Sabi nga niya, kahit Feb na, there's always time and space para sa new resolutions. At para kay Ivy, top priority niya ang pagiging mas consistent sa laro at mas makatulong sa team. She's coming off a 17-point performance against Nexted, and today, as she said earlier, kailangan lang namin maging mas composed, mas buo, mas consistent. Feb na nga, walang space for slow starts. And with the elimination round closing, Akari knows every match matters. Let's see if they can kick off the month with a first set win as we head back here, Denise and Jamie.
And right now, Akari Chargers have joined the lead, 4 points to 1 of the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Let's look at this replay.
Ellie Soyud just softening that attack and breaking that block of Capital1. But Denise, we have to remind our fans, Feb is the final month of this preliminary round. On Feb 27th, we enter the next phase of the tournament. So things are slowly going to get heated in the month of Feb.
I mean, that's why you can see right now both teams will be going on a timeout, but let's check in. We'll talk about it more later.
Pero yung score nila, 6 error na. Puro misreceive, dalawang error sa paluan. Si palitan mo. Huwag kasi ganyan. Pinalayo na naman natin kaya error eh. Regroup tayo, alam mong wala kang receive, di ba? O di ayusin mo rin.
Let's go, Capital!
That was definitely a much needed timeout called by Coach Roger. He did tell his squad that they do need to group. They need that one leader to step up, and not just a leader, Denise, that will provide the points. An emotional leader. Iris Tolanata being the setter is usually that emotional leader, but she's focusing also on the sets for her attackers.
No, it's good that you mentioned that because I was able to catch up with Iris a while ago, and she said the team has got what it takes.
Yes.
It's the mindset that they're having some trouble overcoming. And you said so yourself. February is the last month of the elimination. They all feel the pressure. But that block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Now let's check in with Akari. Really, Eli Soyud
Yes.
on point. We don't want to jinx it, but 6-point lead for the Akari Chargers. 7-point lead. Oh, rather, that was a point for the Capital1 Solar Spikers.
You did jinx it. You did jinx it. Sorry, Ivy. That was Denise's fault.
But now Iris is serving, and we were talking about her, and she has been enjoying her stay with the Capital One, but it's a lot. She also feels the burden of being the leader for the squad.
Well, she did mention that individually the talent is there, but of course volleyball being a team sport, everyone has to pitch in, everyone has to have that same mindset. It can't just be 5 players having that mindset and then one is not fully involved in the game. But let's see with Capital One in this game.
We had our first technical timeout. Akari still leading 8-3. Here at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. We also want to say hello to our viewers who are watching us live on the Pilipinas Live app. Faith Nisperos, Eli Soyud, and you have our players from Capital One. I think they're really taking advantage of all of these timeouts to regroup as much, but you can only talk. You know, at the end of the day, it's up to you to show these applications on court. Exactly.
That's right, Denise. Taking action is the first step. But let's see, they are down by 5 points. A lot of receiving errors and attack errors as well. You could see,
Speaking of.
Yep, Layla Cruz trying to go for that sharp cross-court attack. You know, Iris has a lot of options. She's been setting the middle. She's been setting the open, the opposite. But it's her spikers that really need to step up this game.
Good serve from Sharma. Niegos. Ball still alive, so it gives away a free ball. Niegos tries again. An effective move in getting the Akari Chargers to scramble. Back set to Cruz. Cam to Nisperos, sending that rally.
What a bullet coming from Faith Nisperos.
That's back of the set by Faith Nisperos, brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan.
Great spot, cornering that cross-court attack. And we love Faith, how much she's grown, of course, coming from Alas Pilipinas, and now sharing all the knowledge, I would say, and experience, and sharing it with her team here in Akari.
Service error from Sharma, but that they can afford compared to Capital One, where they really have to be mindful. It is
Yes.
only set one, but a lot of unforced errors for the
right.
team.
That's right. A back-to-back seesaw battle here in terms of errors, but like you mentioned, Denise, Akari, and also Capital One, consistency is the name of the game. We did mention this in the pregame. Eventually, when the consistency comes, then you could eventually build that winning mindset, but it all will happen during the game. That's the only way you can learn experience playing on the court. It's the only way.
We kept saying love is in the air, but there seems to be a service curse
That's right.
that's going around. And we're waiting for both teams to break the cycle. We saw a while ago on our screens Coach Roger, who did not look happy. He was not happy.
It's very understandable with the mood that he's in, and it's for sure also frustrating for him because he knows how hardworking his team is. You know, we don't see what actually happens during training, but you know, you can see he's sitting down. There we have a ace coming here for Capital One,
And Coach Roger is stepping out
Yep.
of his corner. This is what he was talking about during that first time out. The receive is not receiving.
Yep.
It's showing, and Capital One is not able to display their plays because of it. Cam sets to Soyud from the back. Iris to Genesis.
But is there touch
too
on that?
wide.
Nope. Yep. A lack of first action from Genesis, the newbie of Capital One.
Now, she might be the newbie of Capital One, but, you know, Trisha Genesis from her UAAP days was an amazing player.
Yep.
And we're waiting. We're waiting to see glimpses of that player, and even more as she's now in professional league. Great save from Nazareno. Genesis gives away a chance ball. Cal. Iris to De Guzman. Laxina.
To touch on that one.
She was waiting for that.
Yeah, she knew it.
Off the ball.
She was quite excited.
Yep. That attack was off the block. We have a run here for the Akari Chargers. Capital One needing to find their own groove. Iris running everywhere. The receive is not at the setter's box. A lot of options, but a lot of the attacks are not converting into paint here.
And that's why right now Akari Chargers,
The
the
set
9-point lead after that error from the team.
Yep.
If you don't want to be the Capital One Solar Spikers, it's just waiting for your competition to make mistakes.
Yes.
You want to be able to take the reins.
And you want to also earn your points. We're seeing the
Speaking of
performance.
earning
Yes.
of points, come on. Cam to Ivy again, who she's feeling is on fire. And we're going to be going on another timeout. Akari Chargers still on the lead, 10 points against the 6 of Capital One Solar Spikers. SB Finance ang BFF na malalapitan. Again, you're watching the game between Akari Chargers against the Capital1 Solar Spikers. 10-point lead for the Akari Chargers, and that's 6 points. Those 6 points of the Capital1 Solar Spikers were all from the errors of Akari Chargers. What does that say about the team's current position, Jay?
We talk about the consistency, the urgency, like that attack coming from Cam, not urgent, not aware to what's happening on the opponent's side, hesitation. Take a look at that. Not being ready.
They need to be able to switch all of those negatives into positives. That was 17 serving 6.
And no receive as well, Denise. We're seeing a pattern here coming from the Capital1 Solar Spikers. The Akari Chargers, actually, we have not seen any combination plays, just sets given to Faith Nisperos, but Coach Roger will call for a timeout.
I know, he puts a halt first in that comeback of sets.
Ayusin natin sarili natin na baka yung mga libero, wala kayong receive. Hindi makakapag-set ng play pag wala tayong reception. Ay, yung mga opener, abangan nyo na lang. Open naman lagi ang play doon eh. Wala namang iba eh. So, abangan nyo na doon. Tingnan nyo na kung sinong bablock sa inyo. Huwag nyo paluin.
With the Capital1 Solar Spikers, mental stability is much needed. We've seen how Capital1 has played. They are such a fighting team. But even just with their body language, their morale, no one is smiling. But of course, it all starts with that perfect pass, that perfect receive to Iris.
Again, our theme of the month is Love Month. Coach Roger was saying, ayusin natin yung sarili natin. And it always starts from oneself. You know, before you accept the love from others, it has to also start from self-love. The girls have to realize really that their potential is amazing. They just need to tap into it. I'm pretty sure Coach Roger and Iris are getting frustrated because this is not how they are during their practices. That's really it. That's usually where the frustration comes from.
That was a running attack that we just saw from Capital1. Iris needing to take risks, setting Clemente de Guzman for that running attack. We haven't seen too much of the middle attacks coming from Capital1.
Great save from Cam, but a little bit too late for what could have been the saving pass to the other side. 8, serving 19, Trisha Genesis in the service area. How many times has Cam done that? I think that's the third.
Well, Cal taking advantage of that, going for another 1-2 play as they're up 12 points against the Capital1 Solar Spikers. You can just see in the facial expression of Coach Roger, this is not what we're used to seeing coming from Capital1. They're usually steady, error after error. Iris staying composed, but that is another hitting error coming from Heather Ginoo. But now we have Jarrell Singh back in the mix.
And
We have
one does wonder what's going on through Coach Roger's mind. We're seeing a lot of substitutions from their end, and you can only guess that he's really trying to find that spark for the Capital1 Solar Spikers.
We have Steph Bustrelio just subbed in. She was the 6th overall pick last year during that rookie draft. You could see Coach Taka subbing in Danny Ravenna earlier, giving the bench more playing time here. Also said Domingo as well. This is the time to play more players.
22-9.
Yes.
The gap just keeps
Yep.
on increasing. And we're happy to see Akari Chargers really charging their way in today's game. But, you know, as a volleyball fan, you can't help but feel bad, you know, for Capital One, because you know what they've got. And they're all trying. They're all also well-accomplished volleyball players. It's just right now their chemistry is not in sync.
The body language, the communication, no leader to look at, no leader to look up for, hesitation.
But good net defense. That was from Bustrillo and Domingo.
Akari Chargers.
We're really going to need more aggression from Capital One.
Take a look at that replay here. Perfect press on that block.
And more players coming in.
Almazan, serving specialist for the Akari Chargers.
Green Almazan.
For set point, 24 serving 9. Fresh off the bat.
We love that. That was an impact.
And that's what Coach Taka wants. And it got exactly what they wanted here in set 1. Quick set win for the Akari Chargers. And we're going to wait for the Capital One to bounce back. I'm sure their fans are keeping the faith. Stay tuned for more action. While the Akari Chargers, you know, they celebrate this win. That was a quick set win for the Akari Chargers against the Capital One Solar Spikers. 21 minutes, 25-9, just showing their dominance, shocking the Capital One Solar Spikers. Let's look at some set 1 highlights. But we know Ivy Lapsina really played such a huge role in their set 1 win.
That's right, Denise. It was a 21-minute set 1 against Akari and the Capital One Solar Spikers. But Cam spreading out the offense, Soyud stepping up, Nisperos stepping up, and Ivy Laxina, the girl that we did feature in the pregame earlier. Not a lot of errors in attacking. Everyone is communicating, but Capital One needing to find that leader to step up. But first, we got to talk about the set 1 stats here. Take a look at that, Denise. Look at that attack disparity. Only 1 from the Capital One Solar Spikers and 12 from the Akari Chargers. 2 blocks from Akari. When looking at the errors, 7 tallied from Akari and 9 from the Capital One Solar Spikers. Capital One only with a 4% attack efficiency and a 48% attack efficiency coming from Akari. The Spikers, Jarrell Singh, Layla Cruz, Iris Tolenada, Roma need to step up in set number 2. As for the Akari Chargers, consistency we're slowly seeing compared to their previous matches as both teams try to win this game.
And that 9 points, those 9 points of the Capital One Solar Spikers are all from the errors of the Akari Chargers. What does that say about their confidence? Their playing?
We have
Set number 2.
Patty Ornda in now starting at set number 2. different first 6 we're seeing
Akari Chargers.
for Coach Roger.
Paturendain. Serve. For Capital.
Good serve. Cam sets it to Ivy Laksina.
Laksina. Off 40.
It's a strong start here for the Akari Chargers. Ivy Laksina being that go-to spiker here for Akari, targeting that zone 5, targeting Dormal in that sequence.
Dunpa. Serve. For Akari.
Marindain to Genesis.
Genesis. Off the
And
block.
those are the attacks that we want to see more from the team.
That's right, Genesis. We all know that approach, targeting that block of Fifi Sharma. But let's see if they can put a stop to Akari in this entire match.
Oh, we are seeing the Capital One finally taking charge. We're seeing the aggression. We're seeing a different kind of energy from them.
That's right, Genesis taking advantage of that overpass.
Another good serve. Cam to Fifi Sharma.
Ooh, that's too tight.
But Genesis
The
makes
net.
a way.
It's a net touch on that one.
But it's great. We're seeing
2-all.
renewed energy. It's like the bad jujus went away
Yes.
for Capital One Solar Spikers, and we're here for it.
And this is them taking advantage, learning from their mistakes. This is a rut that they really have to overcome in this match.
We're tied 2-2 here in set 2. Iris to Trisha. Block.
So far, good blocking from Soyud and Fifi Sharma. Very consistent in that sequence.
Our block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference.
This is Capital One needing to cover, needing to stay a bit more ready. Good receive from Dormal.
Quick attack from Yegos right in the middle. We check in with Kyla King-Su for her report on the teams, Kyla.
Solar Spikers were indeed told to somehow find their spark before they short circuit. Like you said, guys, they do have the talent, but they have to live up to their name and actually capitalize on all opportunities for scoring. And at the forefront is their captain, Jarel Singh, who is determined to get her team back on track. Sabi nga ni Jarel kanina, we've been reminded time and time again in training to keep our heads up, stay positive, and focus on the next point. Pero pagdating sa game, a positive mindset is nothing without bringing it to fruition. I expect everyone to execute. And with that kind of attitude, expect the Solar Spikers to power up here and make adjustments. Will Capital One manage to flip the switch and start firing on all cylinders? Or will Akari keep the pressure on? Let's see how they react here as I send it back to you, Jamie and Denise.
But we're seeing better plays.
Yes.
From Capital One, that's for sure. It's more of, again, consistency. Will they be able to play consistently this whole match after?
It's a good attack coming from Genesis, coming from the right pin, and just that hand of Faith Nisperas. We got to see that in replay. Smart play, just attacking the fingertips of Faith in that one.
Genesis, who already has 4 points in today's match, 3 of those all from set 2. Niegos to Tolenada, Orendain. Great net defense by the Akari Chargers. Orendain tries again. And they went on a different route, and it worked for them.
And you can just see in Iris's eyes the fight and hunger she had in that sequence, being smart. Perfect coverage in that sequence by Capital One, but take a look at that. Iris targeting zone 5 and fooling Ivy Laksina.
Good serve. Nazareno to Faith. Ball still alive. Iris gives away a chance. Cal back sets to Ellie Soyud.
Down the
Smart
line.
play coming from Ellie Soyud, but Roma was there. She was actually not balanced in her stance on that sequence, but good setting decisions coming from Cal.
We're tied at 5-5.
It's a completely different story.
Completely different story. But still the same players from Capital One.
For a cup. Ellie.
5 points for Ellie Soyud. Genesis from the back.
But this time, an attack coming from the back row, able to make a way. A miscue coming from Akari, a rare miscue that we've seen in this match. That's in between Ivy and Soyud.
Trisha Genesis living up to her name. She is the beginning of the spark of Capital One. Faith Espero sends it to the back, a check ball.
Set point. On a Capital.
That's Faith Nesperos. You can just hear the ball when she's in contact. A lot of speed in that approach, a lot of power in that attack. So far, so good from Faith.
Set one, we talked about a seesaw of errors. This time around, we're seeing a seesaw of points.
Yes, that's right.
Faith Nesperos with 4 points, 2 attacks and 1 service ace.
Ooh, that's too tight. The set of Iris was a little bit too outside.
And you don't want to rush these things. We're only at the first half of the set, and they're gaining really good momentum. I think they can take their time.
That's right. Each sequence has to be taken care of. Every point matters. Every game is crucial here.
Australia now serving.
Now you can see with Capital One, better production.
But still, Akari Chargers leading here in set 2, 8-7. And on your screens are UAAP correspondents enjoying our PVL volleyball action. But for all of our volleyball fans, you don't need to wait too long because we welcome UAAP volleyball on Feb 15, just a day after Valentine's. So it's really all about volleyball. Ball is life here.
Of course. It's the best time of the year.
All year round. It never stops. And fans are excited. But the players, you know, it's been a stretch. We're seeing a more stable reception.
So better production we're seeing in set number 2, but we got to talk about this replay here. Good set coming from Iris. That is actually a combination play.
A really smooth one.
Yep, Ari and Florinda in starting in set number 2.
Cam to Ivy Luxina with a combination play of their own.
That's a quick side out coming from Ivy and Cam.
That's back of the set brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubok ng bayan.
The block late coming from Iris. Beating that block,
Real
Ivy
foul.
Luxina.
Service zone.
Iris sets. Dorendain. Nazareno to Soyud with a tip.
It's a very deceiving attack coming from Ellie Soyud. We are used to seeing her going for that down the line, that cross-court attack, but this time switching gear and going for that soft touch above that block.
Keeping it simple, and it's working for Ellie Soyud in today's match. Rivera to Genesis. Nazareno was there. Ivy Luxina with the push. Faith pushes it to the other net, to the other court rather. Ball still alive. Soyud gives away a free ball. Genesis tries to end that, but strong net defense from the Akari Chargers.
So net touch on Capital One. Villegas scraping that net. So far, we're seeing a good rally in that last one. Take a look at this replay. Oh, that's actually Genesis scraping that net after that block.
3-point lead for the Akari Chargers as Kamuikal serves.
Good serve.
So good. She got another service ace.
Targeting Patty or in on that one.
Timeout will be called by Coach Roger. Let's listen in this time on what he has to say to his team.
Hintayin nyo yung bolang kumapit sa kamay nyo, tsaka nyo ibababa. Hindi yung hindi pa nga napapalo, pabagsak yung kamay ninyo. Siya ay spike, tayo block. Ang block, diretso lang na gano'n, hindi pinapalo. Is-receive na naman. Ikaw, nandun, naka-block. Nandito ka na naman sa kabilang dulo rito. Okay lang yun kung aabutan mo. Alam mo namang hindi, di lumapit ka ng bahagya.
Capital One just down by 4 points. Better production compared to that set number one, Denise, but slowly we're seeing Akari with the consistency. Not a lot of attack errors. It's good to see Justine Hazareno back in action. Very consistent. Also Faith Nesperos just powering it up in the front row.
Right now for Capital One, it's just Clemente de Guzman, Genesis, Tolenada, and Orondayan who are able to score points for the team. And you know what Coach Roger says, they're going to need more production from the rest of the squad to be able to get set 2, hopefully set 3 and set 4. Hazareno to Luxina. Iris sets it to Genesis.
Into the block.
And finally is able to break down the blocks of Akari Chargers.
That's right. That is what Genesis is known for. Breaking that block of Soyud and Fifi Sharma.
Genesis, who had 6 points, 5 of which are just from set 2.
No, unfortunately, it was followed by a missed serve, halting the momentum of Capital One. But so better production from the Capital One Solar Spikers.
3-point lead for the Akari Chargers. Great reflexes from both squads. Faith to the back. Rivera was there. Iris sets it for Genesis. Great save by Kamuikal. A tip again from Ellie Soyud.
Too smart coming from Ellie Soyud. She knew that Capital One was awaiting for that strong attack. Quick urgency here from Akari, but take a look at that changing tempo, but good effort coming from Iris. Iris and Rivera in that sequence.
Soyud really staying light on her feet, just
very bouncy,
making the rounds in their side of the court. Iris sets it up for Genesis with a touch. Esperos was there. Soyud tries again, sending it to the back. Orendain to the rescue. Ooh, Estrella. But Ivy Laxina was there. And a great exchange of attacks from both squads.
What a spot.
Ellie again, Jamie.
The back-to-back points coming from the veteran and Ellie Soyud. Just knowing the open window, the holes on the defense of Capital One. Simple plays we're seeing coming from her.
She is fully charged. Name a more Michelle Cobb, who I'm sure is enjoying the way her teammates are playing right now. But Ellie Soyud is the most charged up player on the court right now.
Now, Denise, we are seeing Akari in a big run now. But first, we'll head into the technical timeout.
10.
You're looking at the Capital1 Solar Spikers. These timeouts proving to be quite instrumental to the team being able to regroup. But right now, the Akari Chargers, Ellie Soyud,
On fire.
on fire, has been on a roll. Right now, she has 8 points. She's a leading scorer for today's match and for her team.
And with Akari, they do need that consistent spiker. You featured Ivy Laxina, but Ellie Soyud stepping up, much needed in the scoring department for Akari.
Back at the service. No.
Faith Esperos, Ivy Laxina, even Fifi Sharma, they've been doing so well. But Ellie Soyud has been aggressively looking for the ball and looking for opportunities to score, whether it be at block, service ace, or attacks. About what a rally that we're enjoying right now. Camille Kyle setting it up.
Woo! Fifi Sharma with that beautiful quick attack. Cal exhaling after that rally, but look at this, so much power. Her approach, you can feel that, you know, she has been awaiting to attack just like that one.
Iris to Genesis.
You know, you could see the power in the attack of Genesis, but she needs to control. No, the sets are great. Needing to control the power in her game.
Again, let's check in with Coach Roger and Capital One. Let's listen in.
Kung maging smarte ka sa ginagawa mo, eh gusto mo lang pumalo, binabalibag mo naman yung bola, balibagin. Maging matalino lang tayo sa laro. Mapagpasensya. Maging mapagpasensya. Wala naman sila kakaibang ginagawa eh. Puro open. Ang problema, hindi natin madepensahan.
No, Coach Roger mentioning the offense of Akari, that Camille Cal is just feeding the open, feeding the wings, but Capital One unable to get the defense there. The communication is also not there, but I would say, Denise, this is a better second set we're seeing coming from them.
Well, for one, Capital One is more than 9 points, and it's not all the errors of the Akari Chargers. They are making points based on their own merit, which, you know, I'm sure Coach Roger has appreciated, but you gotta give more to be able to make it to the next round.
That's too tight. That's too tight of a set coming from Cam and Shelia. Taking advantage of that one.
Cutting down the lead to just 6 as Iris Tolenada serves for her squad.
Tolenada.
12 serving 18. Cam to Fifi. But can I just say, props to Rivera. That was a really good save from her, reception from her. Sally, the follow-up, you know, that's what Coach Roger's been saying. Akari is not doing anything so special.
But Fifi Sharma being able to score and taking advantage of being in the front row. But you're right, Denise Rivera. Being at the right defensive spot at the right time and awaiting that attack of Fifi. Fifi already with 3 points.
Oh, I think there was a miscom there for Capital One. But a point still for their squad.
We have May now running the ship for the Capital One Solar Spikers. She's that veteran setter here for Capital One, giving Iris Tolenada a break. Danny Ravenna now in for Akari. Genesis up to serve.
Cam to Eli Soyud. Makatuno was there. Orindain cross court, straight to Azareno. Faith.
What a spot. Almost slicing that attack, going for that sharp cross court. Patty not awaiting for that one, not ready for that one, just avoiding that block of Capital One. Look at that spot.
Akari Chargers. 11.
We have Erica Ragas now serving for Eli Soyud.
20 serving 13. This is first time Ragas is seeing action for today's game. And again, Coach Taka is in a good position. He is able to rotate his players in today's match.
Another quick attack that we're seeing from the Capital One Solar Spikers. We did not see a lot of attacks coming from them in set number 1, but this is better ball distribution coming from Capital One.
Diego serving 14-20. Oh, that was a joust at the net. But great reflexes from Orendain. Madrigal tips that. She gets her first point of the match.
This is her specialty, that running attack. The set was a bit off the net coming from Cal, but Madrigal was able to make away with that tip.
But what a joust of the net that was between Comuical and Diegos. The net defense of Akari Chargers really on point. Cam to Ivy. Orindain to Genesis.
Set is too low coming from Cal, but Ivy is sure that there is a touch on that one. I believe this is our first challenge of the match. A block touch challenge that is coming from that quick attack of Ezra.
Our first one of the match, as we are at the latter part of set 2.
Oh, there is some honesty here on that one. So point Akari.
Orendain, ooh.
You could see Patty trying to go for that down the line, just a bit too much. Touching the antenna on that one. Take a look at that. Touching the net.
the errors again are mounting for Capital One as Faith Nispero serves for Akari. Orendain. Cal to Ivy. Another long rally here in set 2, but it's Ivy Laxina who ends that thrilling rally.
Ivy Laxina targeting that corner pocket, and usually when she is coming from that left pin, all her attacks go for that long ball, which is actually very difficult to receive. You can see that she's finding the hole in defense of Capital One.
Service out.
Service error.
Attention to all of our
For
viewers. Please turn off your camera
Akari.
flashes.
But they're at set point. 15 serving 24. This time is Estrella of Capital One on the service area. Good serve. Cam to Ivy. Genesis runs after the ball. Orendain gives away a chance. Cam. This time around, an exchange of free balls from both squads. But it's the persistence of Capital One that prevails in this long rally. Look at that replay.
Villegas up for that running attack, a solo block, but this time tooling that block coming from Ivy Laxina.
Hazareno to Ivy. Orendain
To touch on that one.
Amazing plays by Capital One right now. Great sets by Makatuno.
No, they are down in set number 2, but you can see that there's still a lot of fight here, especially on that attack of Patty.
Out. Service error for Estrella would lead to another set win for the Akari Chargers. Now they've got 2 sets to none against the Capital One Solar Spikers. And we still are waiting for Capital One to get better. You know, we saw a better performance from them here in set 2. We're back here at set 3. 2 sets for the Akari Chargers, but a better performance that we saw from the Capital1 Solar Spikers in set 2. We look at that 25-17. They did have a good run, but there's no stopping the Akari Chargers right now.
That's right, Denise. Capital One having a 28% attacking efficiency compared to that 4%. Better production, Patty Orinda in May, setting up the offense in set number 2. But the Akari Chargers showing some consistency in this match. Ellie Soyud stepping up to the plate, being crafty with her attacks. Fifi Sharma, Ivy Laxina, and also steady performance from Justine Hazareno, Camille Cal. You know, Michelle Cobb is not in the mix in this match, so you can see that Justine is helping her out in the back row. Set 2 stats here, 15. Better production compared to that one attack they had in set number 1, that is Capital One. 13 attacks from the Akari Chargers, but take a look at that, Denise. 10 errors alone in that set number 2, and I would say having 5 or less errors in each set is an ideal number, but having 10 is just too much. But imagine if they minimize the errors while attacking that way, better performance, and they could have had a chance in set number 2.
You know, Ivy Laxina dancing during this timeout, rightly so. She is the leading scorer. Her and Soyu, they're both tied at 8 points. Genesis, meanwhile, is the leading scorer for her squad at 7. And sadly, more of her teammates need to contribute more.
You're right, Denise, but let's see how things will unfold in set number 3. This is not only a test for Capital One, but a test for Akari if they can close out this match in just 3 sets. But Capital One needing to have a bit more urgency. Of course, this comes with the growing pains of not having a set first 6. You can see Coach Roger putting in different players here and there, but this is where the chemistry actually needs to form during these games.
Now we saw a completely different story in set 2 in a way that Capital One has turned over a new leaf. Will we see an even better outcome for them here in set 3? That's what we'll find out. I think there's some talk. Madrigal and Victoria. Okay, there is a delay, I think, with the positions. Just correcting. And now, Kumuikal will be serving for the Akari Chargers here in set 3. Again, you're watching the Akari Chargers against Capital One Solar Spikers live at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. And we've got another game coming right up after this one. What an attack. A quick attack by Fifi Sharma.
You could see the confidence slowly building here from Cal. Fifi Sharma, another quick attack, avoiding that block. But also the receive we're seeing from the Akari Chargers, very stable for Camille. That's a net.
Ellie Soyud is checking back in. And when you're going against her, you really have to be more alert, more aggressive than she is, because this afternoon she is all wired out.
She is being that veteran spiker that the Akari Chargers need.
Even the blocking.
With the block.
The blocking on point. A strong start in this 3rd set for the Akari Chargers.
The block of the set is brought to you by East West Bank, the official bank of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Elisoyud now has 9 points, just 1 point shy of double digits. Genesis.
Oh, what a dig from Justine.
Laksina. Oh, exchange of good digs here from both squads. Cam to Laksina. Another great dig by Rivera. Genesis gives away a free ball. Fifi Sharma ends that exhilarating rally as we check in again with Kyla Kingsu for her stories. Kyla, what's up?
Denise and Jamie, we keep talking about Feb being the month of love, but in these huddles at the courtside, it is tough love taking center stage as they enter set 3. The urgency is undeniable. I overheard Capital 1's Iris Tolenada keeping it cool but intense, telling her team to have that presence of mind and stay on their toes because adjustments have to be made. While on Akari side, Camille Cal was all about keeping spirits high, assuring her teammates that they have this and all it takes is to trust their game plan. As for the coaches, both Coach Roger and Coach Taka kept it straightforward, no time for distractions, just execution. It's clear now Feb might be for love, but this set, it's all about urgency and grit. Let's see who pulls ahead, Denise and Jamie.
You know what Kyla was saying, grit. That's one thing that Capital One is trying to find. But Akari Chargers, they're capitalizing on Elisoyud's grit.
On point. And she's the
No
one,
words.
She is the one that has the hot hands, very consistent. And being that consistent attacker that is much needed for Akari. But Ivy already with 8 points.
Makatuno. Oh, really good timing there. Desperos. Alvarez was there. Genesis drives and scores.
Genesis finding that hole, that seam in between the blocker and the antenna. Take a look at that location of the attack, that slim margin targeting Ivy Laksina. What a spot coming from Genesis.
You know, sobrang nipis. Like,
Very
it's
thin.
amazing how she was able to avoid the antenna, the blocking. Great stuff from Trisha Genesis.
Faith Spears blocked on that one. No urgency on that coverage coming from the Akari Chargers. Let's see this one. Faith having to adjust from that set.
A great adjustment too from Australia. As soon as she saw where Faith's ball was headed, we saw the quick adjustment. Makatuno.
Good set.
Oh, things going so well for Capital One. They're catching up to the 5 points of the Akari Chargers.
That's Alvarez. She did not see court action in their last match against Zeus. That is her first point of the match. It's a lifting violation coming from violation. Not the easiest to set. Receive coming from Ivy, a bit too tight for Cal.
In the intentions, of course, it was supposed to be an over-receive. They wanted to just get a good play. But now we're tied 5-5 in set 3.
But you can see that the Akari Chargers taking advantage of the errors of Capital One, and that is what Capital One needs to minimize in set number 3.
10 from set 2.
Way too many in just one set.
Good serve from Sharma. Point again for the Akari Chargers.
The receive coming from Genesis, too tight for May. She's not the tallest of setters.
And you've got a tall front line for the
Yes.
Akari Chargers. It's Soyud, Nisperos, and Ezra.
So lucky point, lucky break for Capital One. Fifi trying to target zone 1 from that serve.
Niegos now serving. Cam back sets to Soyud with that classic soft touch of hers to lead them to our first technical timeout with Akari Chargers still leading
Akari Chargers.
8-6.
Capital 1 Solar Spikers.
To February 16, and wait for the questions to be flashed on screen during breaks. Visit nba.onesports.ph after to send your answers. Again, thank you to everyone watching us live at the Filipinas Live app and also here in the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. The arena slowly filling up because, again, coming right up after this game is going to be the Signal HD Spikers against the Creamline Cool Smashers. Let's check back in with the game. Oh, the intention of Alvarez was good. Execution, not so much.
The power was there. You can see May adding more combination plays in the offense, just trying to move the blockers here of the Akari Chargers. Right decision making coming from May. She is that veteran setter for Capital One.
Nisperos. Cam to Soyud. Makatuno to Alvarez. Oh,
Through the ball.
better attack on that one for her.
And that is point number 2 coming from her. Gotta take a look at that replay here. Just finding that space in between that block of Ezra.
Now Alvarez currently has 3 points, and all 3 of them she scored in set 3.
Ooh, that's too tight. But Ezra was able to make away. Coming from that running attack, set was a bit too tight for Madrigal in that one. Take a look at that replay. But luckily with her height and knee, she was able to go for that Donaho zone of Capital One.
Well, you know, it's not really luck. She's really taking advantage of her length, as she should, for her squad 3-point lead for Akari Chargers right now. Makatuno to Villegas.
Villegas, you can see that she's been attacking well coming from that running attack. May moving the blockers from Akari. Justine just a split second late on that rally.
No, she went a bit quiet in the latter part of set 2, and we want her to make more noise, bring more energy in today's match. She's currently at 3 points right now.
You can see Ivy Laxina trying to soften that attack, soften that down the line attack.
Just a 1-point lead for Akari Chargers, 9 serving 10.
But too tight.
Genesis was there. Makatuno sets it to Genesis. Hindi na nahabol ni Ellie Soyod.
Broken blocks we're seeing from the Akari Chargers, but Capital One taking advantage of that one. Genesis breaking that block.
Great adjustment from her, that angle, avoiding the blockers. We're tied to 10. Ivy Laxina. Rivera was there. Alvarez from the back.
Back row attack.
This woman, and you can see Iris on the sidelines just cheering her on.
Good decision making coming from May. Going for the middles. Now going for Alvarez on that back row attack.
Albert.
And just touching the fingertips of that block.
Patuno sets to Villegas. Ball still alive. Great effort by Akari. Nazareno. Great save. Genesis.
Genesis. And
Trisha Genesis.
timeout. Called by Akari Chargers.
Look at that replay. Timeout will be called this time by Akari and Coach Taka. Let's listen in.
Setting. Set up good tayo. Don't hit into the libero. It's already 4-5 down. Side out tayo, guys. Okay, pass is good. Is we make it good pass. Setting proper. Use under setting. Just back to the basic. Going to cover use bad position. Go.
Denise, this is the first time we're seeing Capital One up this entire match.
And, you know, from both coaches, we saw that during their timeouts, they had one thing in common. They were both saying it's time to go back to the basics. And it is only when both squads forget these basics that the errors happen.
Oh, over.
Service ace.
You know, Denise, when one player is stepping up, it's going to be a domino effect. Everything is now fluid.
13.
Everyone is in sync now coming from Capital One, and you can see the bench of Capital One just cheering their team on.
Shola Alvarez is second highest player for her squad. She's now half of Genesis's 10 points. And you can hear the crowds enjoying this rally. Down the line from Ivy Laxina.
What a team effort in that sequence. Justine getting that, look at that, perfect form. But going to Ivy Laxina and her signature down the line.
Nakatuno. Genesis. Ivy Laxina. Off-speed attack. Australia. Ivy Laxina again. Genesis tries to end the rally. And third time's the charm
Down the
for
line.
Ivy Laxina.
The same spot going down the line. Take a look at this. In between the hands of May.
Timeout. Capital One.
Now we go to another timeout by Capital One. Let's listen in to Coach Roger.
Huwag kayo tumunga nga sa laro. Ang ganda na nung atake. Biglang naibigay sa'yo, tutunga nga ka lang, i-over mo. Puro kayo sorry. Hindi naman tayo mananalo sa sorry nyo. Pagka ganito, saan na yung anak mo? Diba pinag-running mo to? Pinag-running mo. Tapos ito pumalo dito sa gitna ganyan. Dapat dito may backline kayo dito. O kaya kahit dito man lang. Ha? Huwag ka mag-focus doon sa ulangan. Ha? Sige. Puro kayo sorry.
Now, Denise, Akari just trying to break the momentum, putting a stop to the momentum of the Capital One Solar Spikers. But you can see the fight we're seeing from Capital One. Better production.
How can you not fight when you're getting some tough love
Yes.
from Coach Roger? Very rude awakening. Ooh, mistake there.
Not only mistake there, Denise, but a missed opportunity.
13 all.
Taking advantage of that. Each sequence, each rally has so much importance, holds so much weight, and you can see the Akari Chargers trying to finish this off, but we have Iris now back here starting for Capital One.
Serve.
We're tied at 13. Iris to Genesis. Great blocking by Akari. Back-to-back blocks. Make that triple. Ivy. Oh, that sweet spot of hers. Seems to be calling her name each time.
That is her signature. That's down the line. And you know that Camille Cal is not changing her strategy. Take a look at that same spot. Alvarez a bit too late on that sequence.
And now lead us back with the Akari Chargers, 14, serving 13. Tolenada,
Good set
Genesis.
from Iris.
And we see that Trisha was a marked attacker, but that quick adjustment from her really shows how smart this woman is.
She went for that power attack, but this time went for that tip, timing it perfectly against that block of Fifi and Cal.
At Noriega, serving.
Cam to Soyuz from the back. Too strong.
But they will call a challenge on that one, a block touch.
There's
The
a
attack
challenge.
of Elisoyu coming from the back row.
Akari Chargers.
So will this count? I guess this is the first official challenge since the other one
Yep.
in the set. The other one, the other team has conceded. A block touch. Again, this is the crucial point of the match because both teams are already playing so well. They both got their grooves, but let's look at this replay.
It's an evident block touch. So points
There's a
go
block
to
touch.
the Akari Chargers.
Challenge is successful.
A successful challenge for
Green
Coach
serve.
Taka
Morata.
and the rest of the team.
Substitution. Chargers. 24 out. Victoria.
So another substitution.
Victoria in for Elisoyu.
Morata.
Tolenada to Genesis. Oh,
Genesis.
it's great. Trisha Genesis, her in-game adjustment, being able to read her blockers
And avoiding.
Again, she is shorter than Fifi Sharma and the rest of the front
For Capital.
front defense of the Akari Chargers, but that's not stopping her.
Good play.
Combination play.
Good play coming from the Akari Chargers and a quick side out at that.
Akari Charger on top. 16-15.
SB Finance, ang BFF na malalapitan. Everyone enjoying really today's match, and it's been a journey for Capital1 Solar Spikers, and As a volleyball fan, it's been great to witness their growth in one game alone. It was a slow start for them in set 1. We saw the struggle. It got better in set 2, but here in set 3, we're seeing them bloom. Meanwhile, it's the Akari Chargers. They've always struggled with consistency, but not in today's match. They've played stable with Ivy Laksina contributing 13 points to her team. You also have Soyud at 12, Disperos with 5. And time around, that attack by Tisha Genesis not working.
What a spot for Disperos. Finding the hole in defense, going for that sharp cross-court attack. And you can see Victoria making those in-game adjustments, getting that tip of Genesis.
At 17, serving 15, 2-point lead for the Akari Chargers. Good serve from Ivy Laksina. Chance ball. Oh, great return by Negos there. Tolenada to Estrella. Block.
Off the block.
But she makes it work nonetheless.
Checking that block out. Smart play and a much-needed side out for set number 3 for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. That's too tight.
Estrella to Alvarez. Oh, Hazareno was there. Camp to Faith. Tolentino to Estrella. Esperos tips that.
Net ball.
Was there a touch?
Point. So for Capital. We are talking 17.
Well, point goes to Capital One as we hit into another deadlock here in set 3. Oh, miscommunication with the Akari Chargers.
And also the timing of the errors here piling up for them.
And right now, Lady Luck is smiling on the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Cam to Fifi. Iris to Shola.
Down the line.
Amazing energy that we're sensing from Capital One. That's why a timeout will be called by Coach Taka and Akari after that play. Great angle from Shola Alvarez.
Fix it there. 1 point at a time there. Go, go, go.
Spikers, para alam na ready. Kung sino ready, ha?
Kalma lang tayo, guys. 1 point at a time.
Yes.
Tulungan tayo, ha? Tulungan tayo. Hindi pa tapos yan. Tara.
Walang tatahimik pa din, ha? Go lang tayo ng go.
Parang
Let's go!
Coach Taka telling his team 1 point at a time. The Capital1 Solar Spikers up by just 2 points, and we are nearing the 20 mark, Denise, but Capital1 still has a chance. Akari still wanting to get this win today against Capital1.
We do say that every game counts, but also every set counts. Because at the end of it,
To icing the momentum there, Genesis.
Coach Roger not happy. It's the errors, and they're doing so well already. You don't want to be the one to break your own team's momentum.
Of course. Good serve.
Iris. Estrella. Oh, great net defense by Akari again. Fifi backsets to Nisperos.
Double contact on Fifi Sharma, but Wrong call, yes.
Can't error there. But we resume with Fifi serving. Iris.
Good set coming from It's a beautiful set coming from Iris, giving Alvarez that hitting point.
That spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan. That Alvarez Tolenada connection.
On point, and Alvarez actually just starting in set number 3. She did not see action in the last game and also the first 2 sets of this game. Good set. It's a good set coming from Camille Cal to Victoria, breaking the momentum. Denise, we're seeing a shift of momentum here between both squads, but it's the question, who can sustain that the most?
Right now, at both teams, they're playing on thin ice. And we're waiting who will break it first, because we're at a standstill. Who has the momentum? Because we've been enjoying an amazing push and pull of both Capital One and Akari. Meanwhile, Nisperos.
Right idea coming from Faith Nisperos. This is her first attack error in set number 3. She has been successful so far on the sharp cross court attacks. Too much juice in that one.
Australia serving. Oh, Cameron had to run for that set. Iris to Villegas. Azareno was there. Great defense by Akari. Cam to Nesperos. Yun yung pambawi.
Yes. And not only that, Denise, a much needed side out for the Akari Chargers. Defense so far so good, but Faith targeting on all cylinders.
1-point lead, set 3, really proving to be so exciting. We love the exchange of attacks and energy from both teams. Iris backside someone to Estrella. Cam to Laxina. Point awarded to the Akari Chargers, but Capital One complaining. Even Villegas shaking her hands.
There will be a challenge called, a block touch challenge.
And it's not only the coaching staff of Capital One rejoicing, but also the fans of Capital One just waving their yellow and blue balloons. We await our second challenge for the set, our third for the whole match. Our tension's really...
It's getting heated over here in Phil Sports.
deliberation process, really taking their sweet time. A crucial challenge for the match. And I think, you know, the result would prove to be either a catalyst of destruction or victory.
You're right, Denise.
Let's see if they will succeed. Capital One, that is, this block touch challenge. But just to give a quick recap on our scorers for Capital One right now, it's just Genesis in double digits, 12 points. Oh, let's watch the replay.
No block touch.
There is no block touch. Challenge is successful.
Successful challenge for Capital One. You heard the screams and cheers of the fans
Point will be awarded.
as the point is awarded to the Solar Spikers. Substitution here for Akari, Faith Nesperos for Danny Ravenna. Shola Alvarez serving. Good serve. Cam to Laxina. Colenada for the Genesis. Great block.
What a timely block for the Akari Chargers. And they are awaiting the attack of Genesis coming from that left pin. Blockers ready for that one. Let's see if Iris will go to Villegas on the next sequence. Maybe a running attack on that one.
One-point lead for the Solar Spikers.
Good serve.
Estrella to Alvarez. Cam to Ivy. Chance ball. Rivera to Trisha. Inside.
Trisha Genesis finding that space. Bump set coming from Rivera. Look at that spot.
What a sharp angle. Trisha Genesis playing today. She's on fire. What an emphatic attack from Ivy. Laxina also sending a message.
Take a look at that. No smiles there.
No, oh, she's not smiling anymore. You know, she was dancing a while ago. She was smiling, rejoicing. It's game mode on. Iris, Trisha. Too wide. You're asking for a check ball. That's why it's
Ball in.
challenge.
It's a ball in, ball out challenge. On the attack. Iris sure that the attack of Genesis is inside targeting zone 5.
You know, to be fair to all players, they always think they mean well, they are sincere when they ask for these challenges. And that is why we need these replays, these slow-mos. Oh, amazing vision by Iris Colenada. It was a ball in. Another successful challenge for the Solar Spikers. And we're seeing a more relaxed demeanor from Coach Roger. Set point for Capital One.
a roll in set number 3.
She means business, Jay.
Substitution. Akari Chargers. 1 out.
There will be a substitution called. Faith back in. A very strong front row we're seeing from Akari.
Captain.
What a serve. So reaching over from Iris Tolenada.
And that is why she's calling for
reaching
another
beyond.
challenge.
Yes. This is a new challenge we have here.
They've got nothing to lose with calling that challenge. Nothing to lose and everything to gain.
You could see the face of Ivy Laxina,
Oh,
laser
yeah.
focused the past 3 sequences, attacking on top of the block. This is a very crucial challenge, reaching beyond the net.
Oh, this is... We're at a standstill just because this point means so much to both squads. This could mean a 3-set win for the Akari Chargers, who has been battling with consistency. But this set victory also could mean the world for Capital One, who has struggled with their confidence, with finding their footing in the tournament. Even the fans, the Solar Spikers, await with bated breaths for the result of this challenge.
Okay, let's see this reaching beyond challenge. Yes,
That is reaching
the
beyond the net.
fingertips of Iris
Challenge is
already on the other
unsuccessful.
side of the net.
Timeout.
Timeout, Capital One.
Masyadong ma-excite dun sa 1 point. Ha? Ngayon, kailangan natin ng 2 points. Tandaan lang, lamang tayo eh. Ngayon, lamang pa rin tayo kasi tayo unang re-receive. Tayo unang pupuntos. Kailangan lang may maganda tayong pasa para makapag-isip yung setter. Yung mga backline, mag-abang. Baka bigyan kayo ng backline. Eh, di sige, paluin nyo. Ha?
Pressure-packed moment here, Denise, in the Phil Sports Arena. Take a look at that score. 24-all. Akari up by 2 sets.
But these moments are good for young teams. This is how you develop character,
Growth. Maturity.
Exactly. You gotta go through
Back at
this.
the service zone for Akari Chargers. Captain. Ivy Laxina.
Ivy Laxina serving. We're tied at 24. Iris blocked by Fifi Sharma and Faith Nesperos. No surprise there again. Akari Chargers fully back in the front row.
And Denise, I did mention this earlier. Genesis does have the hot hands, but you already know that Fifi and Nesperos are awaiting for her attack. Seeing is now back in for Genesis.
Just to harp on what Jamie was saying, it's true, Genesis does have the hot hands, but you don't want to risk it.
Yes. What a serve.
Iris. Estrella. Cam. To Nesperos. And just like that, the Akari Chargers 3-set win against the Capital 1 Solar Spikers. But an amazing effort, Jay. I would just like to commend the Solar Spikers here in set 3. We saw that they really poured their hearts out. We saw the growth and them being able to play in this level. We're so excited for how they will keep improving.
The tools are there,
Exactly.
like Iris mentioned, but great 3-set victory for Akari.
the Akari Chargers win in 3 sets, 3 straight sets against the Capital1 Solar Spikers, 25-9, 25-17, 26-24. But that's set 3, 42 minutes, Jay.
42.
I didn't feel it though. There were a lot of challenges. We even had dues, of course, and so many moments that just left us at the edge of our seats, just waiting which team is gonna get it.
I mean, the wing spikers of the Akari Chargers, Laxina, Nesperos, and Soyun really stepping up to the plate in that set number 3.
But now we check in with Kyla King-Su and our player of the game, none other than our laser-focused Ivy Laxina.
Yes, that's right. Here with me is our player of the game. To no surprise, it is Ivy Laxina. Big congratulations to you and your squad. What a way to kick off the new month of February. Na unang-una, Ivy, what a way to start off the month. Again, 15 points, 15 attacks. Nakausap kita kanina sa dugout and you were telling me that for Akari, usually you have these slow starts. Pero that wasn't the case today. Sa tingin mo, ano yung mga preparations that really made the difference?
Siguro po, mas nagtiyaga kami nung first set talaga kasi parang gusto po namin mabago yung slow start po kami palagi.
Well, in set number 2 and in set number 3, Capital1 started to really, pick up the pace. You had much longer rallies. Ano yung mga key in-game adjustments that you believe really made the difference and allowed your team to pull away?
Same pa din po, sunod pa din po kami sa game plan and syempre mag-adjust din po kami kasi nag-a-adjust din po yung kalaban. Ayun po, and then supportahan po kami sa isa't isa.
Now, Ivy, this is quite a statement win for Akari, especially with your up and down conference and especially without your starting setter, si Captain Michelle Cobb today. Now, how do you plan to carry this momentum into your next matches?
Syempre po, nakakataas po ng moral yung game po today and hindi pa din po kami titigil, trabaho pa din po. Balik po kami ulit sa drawing board and sunod palagi po sa game plan ni Coach Taka.
That's right. Now, Ivy, is there anyone you want to greet? Go ahead.
Hello po sa family ko sa Pampanga, kina Mama, Daddy, and sa buong Akari management and sa families po ng teammates ko and kay Adi na nanonood po ngayon.
There you have it, Ivy Laxina, our player of the game. Congratulations once again to you and the Akari Chargers. Now, Denise and Jamie, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, it's great that Ivy mentioned we're back to the drawing board. Usually you hear those things when you lost, not when you won.
But that just goes to show that she wants her team to grow. And of course, the conference is a very long conference, but that was a statement win and winning in 3 sets. It's a team effort. Fifi Sharma, Justine Hazareno, it's nice to see her play. Her form is still perfect. Exquisite. Ivy Laxina, Faith Nesperos, the attack of Faith Nesperos. So much power. And also Ellie Soyun usually would come off the bench in previous conferences, but she was consistent all throughout. But for Capital1, we did see a shift in their mindset in set number 3, but it was a bit too late. But it all goes to show that the tools are there. They have the ingredients to make a good team. It just boils down to the chemistry, the growth mindset, and just everyone pitching in and sharing that same goal.
All new teams go through the birthing pains. You go through losses. Akari Chargers also went through that when they were the young team, and now they're working on consistency. As we look at our statistics here, and we saw, when it comes to attack, it's not too bad. Capital1, I think it was because of set 3 they were able to catch up to the 42 points attacks of the Akari Chargers, but it's the errors where they really felt the pain.
That's 25 errors tallied for the Capital1 Solar Spikers. But talk about the 6 blocks of the Akari Chargers. What's not shown here, the timing of the blocks, the timing of the aces, and that shifted the momentum on the side for the Akari Chargers. So far, so good in terms of attacking with 42. They were able to minimize the errors with only 16, and that is all ran by Camille Cal. Of course, no Michelle Cobb just yet, but confidence booster for Camille Cal. You can see that she's talking to her spikers. She was smiling a bit more. Of course, a lot of pressure is on her shoulders leading up to the next games, but Capital One, they do need to go back to the basics. I would say it all started with that receive coming from the hard serves of the Akari Chargers. Iris and May need to work together and strategize in terms of the offense.
Well, you know, the Akari Chargers just powered through and delivered a high-voltage performance. But we've got more games coming up. Again, it's the Signal HG Spikers facing the Creamline Cool Smashers. Now, from start to finish, the Akari Chargers generated unstoppable energy, amped up their attack, and surged ahead when it mattered the most. Thank you to everyone who watched us. Again, I'm Denise Insai with my partner, Jamie Lavitoria and Kyla Kingsu. Thanks for tuning in, and we've got more volleyball games coming right up.